Alright, we're doing the tier list. We're doing it live over on Twitch TV / Sir Large Gaming. If you ever want to come hang out with us, that's where you can do it. So let's get it going. So right now, ABC, I mean, it's playable, but it's not very good. It's potential to move down to bad. ABC, XYZ, all the letters in machines, meh. I took off a lot of the less serious archetypes, but I guess I forgot to take off Arcana Force, so it's just going to go right and bad. Relies on coin flips. Even with the support, it's too slow. Blue Eyes, I'm going to go over and put in good with potential to move down to playable. It has all of its stuff back at 3. It's just a little bit slow this format, and it's definitely outclassed by everything else. Its best option is to end on a board with like 2, maybe 3 negates, and that's just really not going to cut it right now in this format. Emancipator. I'm going to put it in playable. If I'm putting ABC here, I should put Emancipator here. The deck is definitely not very good. It's seen better days at this point. If I was going to play Emancipator, I would just play D instead because it can make the same board, but it's more consistent and it's better at this point. So I'm actually going to go ahead and put DDD up in good. I'm going to put it better than Blue Eyes just because it's more consistent, can consistently make better boards, and is all around probably a better option than Blue Eyes. Blackwing I'm going to put behind Emancipator with potential to move down to bad. The deck is the same as it ever was, but it's just really slow in this format. Gem Knight you'll mainly see with like the newer Gem Knight stuff splashed. You could play Gem Knight FTK, you could play pure Gem Knight. I do see it on the ladder, so for that reason I am going to put it in playable. It's because I actually see it in like Diamond and higher. Not very much, like 1 out of every maybe like 50 games. Fire King I actually saw a lot this season because I started in Platinum this season and I moved up through Diamond. I'm still in like mid Diamond right now, but I actually have seen multiple people playing Fire King. The deck is still playable. It's still very good. It still has all of its stuff. It's just outclassed by a lot of things above it. Like even Blue Eyes can really mess with it just if they're playing Primite and doing Drill Beam shenanigans. Uh, Dark Magician with the new support is playable. I'm gonna put it right here next to ABC. Maybe even behind ABC. The new support makes it playable. It's not super great. It is still too slow, too easy to disrupt. Just a whole host of things you can do to it that the deck doesn't want done to it. Engines. Beansmith definitely gonna be still represented. The deck, or not the deck, but rather the engine, still at mostly full power. Um, that's pretty much all I can say about it. Azumina in White Forest, I am seeing just a lot of this season. I don't know why. It's like it vanished and then it came back. I'm seeing a lot of people play it. Um, Most of the people I'm seeing play it either have like Japanese or Korean names, so maybe it's big overseas right now. But I don't feel like the deck is that good. But I am seeing it on the ladder, so I would mention it. Drago Tail is still going to be great. Drago Tail is actually probably going to be one of your best decks, so it does have potential to move up. Uh, Drago Tail hasn't really lost anything in terms of like power. I just feel like VS K9 might be a little bit better, even though we're not really seeing results from VS K9. I just feel like the deck is better than we give it credit for. Um, Adventure Engine's pretty much dead, and you almost never see it. Gears, I actually have seen in rank. Gears are bad. There's better going second decks. Don't play gears. Too slow, too easy to disrupt, not enough combos, not enough of a skill ceiling, really. Um, you're either just gonna make the big guy and try to beat over everything in the back row, or you're going to just summon a bunch of gear golems and try to beat over everything. Not in the back row, sorry, in the front row. Like, summon the big fusion or summon a bunch of gears and push for game on turn two. The strategy is very easy to counteract. Um, Outlich is bad, even with the new support. It just feels like it loses slower, but it still loses. Like, and I don't really see a representation for the deck. The Exodia Millennium and Friends deck is bad. It's just too slow. Being able to end on a board wipe and negate is not going to cut it in this format. Horus Engine, definitely see it more than ABC, not ABC, Adventure, but less than Azamina. Uh, PK, Burning Abyss, Shenanigans. I'm putting bad. I'm putting like right there next to Exodia. Uh, People haven't really figured out new Dragon Link yet, but you can play new Dragon Link. Like it's viable. You can make explosive boards with it. It's not horrible, but I just feel like it's just not there, if that makes any sense. No one's really playing it. There's not enough representation. Like it could easily be here, but no one's playing it. I haven't seen a single person play it on the ladder. And I haven't seen any event tops for it either. I'm gonna put Chimera right here. Behind Gem Knight and Friends, but ahead of APC and Dark Magician. I feel like that's a good enough place for the deck. Galaxy Eyes is just bad. Um, the deck is just too easy to get one over on. It's just not fast enough. It's slow. Ancient Warrior is kind of the same logic as Gears. You know what the deck is going to do, and the deck bricks a lot. Bricks even more than Gears bricks. Ashen, pretty much the same logic as Galaxy Eyes. So Cyber Dragon, this is actually interesting because Cyber Dragon plus K9. Cyber Dragon and K9 together make a very interesting deck that is going to do one of two things. It's either going to make a bunch of XYZs and just make a somewhat helmetish board, or it is going to contact your opponent's board as many times as it needs to make sure your opponent does not have a board. And K9 kind of feels like the missing backup plan that Cyber Dragon needed. I'm actually playing K9 Cyber Dragon, and I got I actually, let's see, what did I do to get through Platinum? Up until the last tier of Platinum, I played Draco Tail, but then the last tier of Platinum and onwards through Diamond, I've actually been playing Cyber Dragon K9, and I've been beating every single one of the decks ahead of it in the meta. I feel like the deck is very strong. So Cyber Dragon K9 playable. Regular Cyber Dragon bad, but if it's Cyber Dragon K9 playable. Regular Cyber Dragon bad though. Anti-meta. I'm putting anti-meta back there behind Dark Magician. It's in a rough spot right now. Pretty much every like floodgate that you would want to run is at one, and you have to run like second tier poo-poo floodgates if you really want to do anything. Uh, I've seen for higher K9. Unlike Cyber Dragon, I don't really feel like it makes the deck much better. I feel like K9 is still bad. Not Canine, sorry, not Canine. For hire. Jeez, what is wrong with me? I took a nap and I'm still tired. Branded pretty much has everything going for it. Branded Draco Tail is like an easy way to make use of the branded package. Branded is still just doing branded things. Like, it also feels like it can go longer in the game if it needs to. Although that being said, I actually think I'm going to move it down to good ahead of Blue Eyes and ahead of DDD because um, decks that do play the long game in the format right now that can out resource it or can just keep putting up bodies like Vanquish Soul, I feel like outclass it. So I feel like it's better off in good. Cosmo. So I was actually being a mad lad and testing Cosmo K9. Uh, it worked. I mean, like, the fact that Dark Lady is 5 and you can just flash a very small Cosmo engine with emergency teleports and just do a bunch of Cosmo shenanigans is great. Tin Can is still too slow in today's meta. Big surprise. Um, the deck wasn't very good, but I am actually going to put it pretty high in the bad tier because Cosmo K9 could pretty much clobber everything below it. But I feel like it's going to struggle badly against everything above it. Like even Blackwing, if you make the big unaffected dude, um, there's just not really much it can do. So I'm putting the deck in bad. If it's a regular Cosmo, it would be towards the bottom of the list, but Cosmo K9 is closer to the top of the list in bad. Heroes. Heroes doesn't hurt. Darklaw pretty much more. Let's be real. Darklaw is the only card in Heroes that we really care about right now. Um, Still hurts Draco Tail. Still hurts. Doesn't really hurt Vanquish K9 that much, honestly. I'm actually going to put Magicians with a new support above Heroes. I just feel like Heroes are not in a very good spot right now. Uh, Invoke Majestus stuff. It's an engine. You'll see it occasionally. Um, Ice Jade, Ice Barrier, like together, because let's be real, you pretty much only see them together. I feel like it's playable and it's better than Blackwing, so it's there. Danger is an engine or splashable. You're pretty much never going to see it, but it does exist. Dinos, this format, I feel like I'll put Dinos right there, ahead of Emancipator, but behind Anti-Meta, behind Heroes. I feel like that's right for Dinos. So K9, definitely the best engine of the format. And you're pretty much going to see K9 everything being played. So I'm pretty much just going to put K9 up in great. K9 Vanquish Soul is insane. Uh, Centurion's slow. I still feel like it's a better option than like DM Knights or Fire King. I feel like I'd rather play Rocket Link or Dragon Link over Scent at this point, but Scent still has its stuff. It's just not really that great of an option when there are better options that everybody probably already has, like branded. Because who hasn't made a branded deck in Master Duel yet? Clazy and Friends, still very splashable, still seen occasionally. Endymion. I put Endymion like right here under anti-meta. Madolce I feel like is bad, and I'm gonna put it under Exodia, but ahead of Photon. Life Twin and like Life Twin Sprite and Life Twin with their new support. I feel like right there. I'm gonna be a little crazy. I'm actually gonna put it ahead of Centurion and Fire King. So I'm gonna put it right there in the playable tool. I feel like it's playable tier. The playable tool. Lord help me. Um Generator. Deck is hella slow, relies on a field spell. Damn, I'd rather play for higher. Um Gladiator Beast. No, the deck is just slow and bad and relies on the battle phase. Adding Nister, you're gonna see splashed in Malice. So I feel like right there, that's about as much you'll see it. Dark World's just bad right now. I feel like I would rather play Dark World than any of the decks below it, for sure. It's gonna dethrone Cosmo as our king of the bad tier. Cosmo K9 actually. No, because I'm having that represent Cosmo K9, not Cosmo. So yeah, I'll probably do that. Maybe I'll change my mind and switch him back. Exo Sister, Banishment doesn't really hurt right now. I feel like there. I don't feel like the deck is bad. I just feel like no one's going to play it with better options. That cannot be said about Buster Blader, though. That deck is bad. Despia as an archetype, like not just the Alobar that people splash into branded, is bad right now. I've been ranking it too high in previous months. Actually tested it, and Despia is just not good right now. Inzectors, I'm actually going to put... I'm going to do this. There you go. Inzector is still in the bad tier, though. The deck is too fragile, too easy to disrupt. Everything above it pretty much clobbers it. Just still not good. I guess I forgot to take that one out of the memes that I put on the list. Crystal Beast. Just not good. Too slow. Too reliant on field spell. Too reliant on getting their search cards, and even when they have them, they really don't do anything. Byseal, you're still going to be seeing splashed a lot. I think it's like the third most splashed right now. But it would be fourth most, because K9 would also be here if I had two K9 images. I'm seeing Kashtira splash still. Not seeing as many people run the deck, but I'm still seeing it splash. Luna like fell off the face of the planet, and this deck is still decent and still a good going second option. I feel like it's going to be really hard to get through your opponent's board going second, though, because everybody's playing K9 and you're having Ripper, and Ripper is just going to like screw this up. Now that I think about it, Ripper would actually kind of hurt Blue Eyes a little bit too. We might have to put Blue Eyes down unplayable. I feel like Lunalight I want to put like here, like behind Dragon Link and Cyber Dragon K9, but ahead of Life Twin. No, I've actually put Life Twin ahead of it, but I'm gonna put it ahead of Sen. I feel like that's the place for Lunalight. Drytron Herald is bad right now. Gonna put it right there in the bad tier. I feel like that's the proper place for it. Umilock is... I'd rather play Crystal Beast. I'd rather play Crystal Beast than a deck right now. This is just way too easy to out in modern format. Give me Crystal Beast over it. I'd probably run like a mill strategy with it and do like tier Crystal Beast or something. But even Crystal Beast over Umilock. Man with the Mark is still good. Hasn't really lost anything besides representation. Doesn't really care too much about other canine variants besides Vanquish Soul Canine. It'll probably lose to VS Canine in most matches, but the deck is still decent, so Mammoth Mark gets to stay in good. Um, they're probably going to stop your first Mermill effect or one of your important Mermill effects if they're playing Canine, but I feel like Mermail is actually, and you can do a little bit of a hand loop with it still. I'm gonna put Mermail next to Chimera. I said what I said. Memento Canine, Memento in general. Memento is good. It's still like definitely a lower tier deck, but it's still very. I don't know. It's still very easy to predict. It still does the same thing. Like if you're seeing people play Memento still, you know how to counter it and you know what it does. And I feel like honestly, Man with Mark would be better than it at this point, even. Novelles is getting an honorable mention and playable because Novelles Megalith. I've actually seen it on the ranked ladder twice this season. I saw it once in my way through Platinum and once in Diamond. The deck is not good, but it's definitely better than the things in the bad tier. So I'm going to give it a seat at the table for at least this list until it falls off into oblivion. I'm seeing Primite splashed about the same as Kashtira right now. Primite was all over Platinum tier when I was in Platinum. Mitsurugi. Let's do this. So currently, right now, Draco Tail is still the best deck. I'm predicting by the end of the format, maybe by the time this video is uploaded even, that K9 is going to take the crown. K9 VS just has so much going for it. I personally don't like the deck. For some reason, when I play the deck, I'm cursed and I just get the worst hands. I've tried running ratios. I've tried net decking. I've tried asking some of my old friends from my locals that have actually topped nationals, like how play this deck, and I just personally can't do it. But I feel like the deck is the best deck of the format secretly right now, or just will be overtly very soon, with Draco Tail being a close second. And then Mitsurugi stuff, I feel like, is a pretty close third. Like, I've seen a lot of Mitsurugi across all tiers of ranked this format. I feel like the better the pilot, the better the deck with Mitsurugi, but I do feel it belongs in great in results from events and seeing it in ranked. I feel like it belongs in great. Plunder Patrol is bad. I am, however, and I'm going to tell you why I'm putting it so high. I'm going to put Plunder Patrol under Drytron Herald. I'm putting that high because the deck has an insane ceiling. It is easily disruptible, which is why it's in bad, and there are a lot of answers for it, but it has an insanely high ceiling. The deck has actually had, like, some people play it in TCG and still play it to this day. There's the captain who plays Plunder Patrol. I've seen this deck in action. It's not a good deck, but it's not like as bad as Inzectors, so I'm going to give it a mention in this list and actually give it a shout out. Pendulum's in a rough place right now. I feel like Pendulum's right here. Punk is still splashable. I believe that's Punk. You'll see it more than you'll see Dangers, and that's about all I can say. The Shizu stuff for tier, like the 2 cards that aren't banned. You'll see it more than Adventure. Labyrinth. Labyrinth's going to be the king of playable. I feel like I'm actually going to downgrade Memento to playable. I would rather play Cyber Dragon K9 over both of those. Decklist coming soon if it's not already up. Zombie good stuff next to Eldritch. Menju, most of the pot cards are hit. A lot of its options are hit. I'd rather run Gears. I'd rather run Exodia. I'd rather run Medolces. Heck, I'd rather run Photons. Kaiju Lava Golem's kind of fallen off. But you'll still see them occasionally. I'm put Malice next to Man with the Mark. There's not really much of a reason to run this deck anymore. You can run it with adding Nister, Splash In, or another Cyverse engine. You're basically just running Cyverse with Malice at this point. I feel like it belongs there. Magical Musket. That's a good question. I had a Photon, but still in the bad tier. Resignators, bad tier next to Dark World. We already covered Boral Dragon, Rocket Link / Dragon Link. This is an engine that you'll never see, but you'll see it more than these two. I'm gonna put Speedroids next to Resignator. I'm gonna put Striker and Good, but behind Malice and behind Man with the Mark. With potential to move down to playable. Give me Insectors over Crawler. Minkonko is definitely playable. I feel like it's right there. I feel like this is a solid place for it. Like mid playable tier. So we kind of already talked about this with Ignister, but it's like one of those splash things in Malice at this point. Get on up in that bad tier, prank kids. Get up in that bad tier, Destiny Heroes. You can go there too, Infernoids. Already covered zombie good stuff. Ogotics. I'd rather play Destiny Heroes. Pearly. I'll put Pearly next to Speedroid and Resonators. That feels about right. Skull Servant. Obvious S tier. Sorry, Skull Servant. I have to put you in bad. This hurts my heart. I'll put you in like upper lower bad tier though. Orcust. Orcust / Orcust K9 right here. It's really funny. Cyber Dragon K9 has an insanely good Orcust matchup because most of their stuff is machines. You can just summon a Cyber Dragon and be like, oh, your board? I mean our board. And what some people don't realize, and I actually have a replay of, is when they if they have Babel on the field and use that one that takes control of one of your monsters, if they take your Cyber Dragon, you can still use Cyber Dragon on their side of the field to contact. Snake, I got Oakback or Ash or whatever. Snake Eye, Miss Mash. Yeah, right there under Lunalight. Raid Raptors. There. Pure Predaplant. There. Rescue. Probably there next to Pearly. Actually above Pearly. Regenesis. Below K9 Cyber Dragon, but still in the playable tier. Rika could be next to Madolches. Salamangreat, even with Malice, is doo-doo poo-poo. Sword Soul 10 Yi next to Pearly. Taipei Dragon. I'm gonna put it ahead of Lunalight, and the reason I'm putting it ahead of Lunalight is because I see it more. I'm actually gonna put it. I'm gonna put it right there behind Dragon Link. Deck is so annoying. Ryzel is pretty much dead at this point. I think it could still do better combos, even in its current state, than anything on the list, like in bad. Cosmo K9, I think, is probably a little bit better, but I just can't see Cosmos beating out Ryzel, even in its current state. It's really gimped, though. It is 1-1-3 and no. Yeah, I'll put Cosmo K9 higher than it. Regular Cosmo, though, would be like all the way down there next to Arcana Force. Subterror and Friends. I'm put Adam a Dolce. Tier is always playable. It still does the same thing it's always done. And that's pretty much all I can say about that. You could play Ritual Beast. They haven't lost anything. They're just like not really being seen much in the meta at all, but the deck's not bad. I'll put it under Minkonko. I'd say Scareclaw is pretty bad right now. Unchained, still an engine. Still splashable. Route there. The engine tier is not ranked by how good they are, but by like how much you're gonna see that splashed. So I feel like that's where things belong right now. Yummy's great. I'm still gonna put it behind Mitsu. I feel like Mitsu is the better engine right now. Sometimes you'll see Yummy Mitsu together, and then the deck is probably the top of like the great decks category. But these two definitely belong in great. Yummy is still doing yummy things. Cyber Angels for the Heralds, you're actually probably gonna see that less than you see Punk. S-Force is so bad. Shaddolls right now are so bad. Scrap as an archetype is so bad. Zodiac, bad. We already covered that. We already covered Cyverse. So that goes over there. We already covered Dinos. That includes Dinomorphia, pretty much in the same place. Dragon Maid. If it's Dragon Maid Draco Tail, it's playable. If it's regular Dragon Maid, it's bad and like below, probably above Ryzel. Already covered that deck. Mana DM I actually saw twice in ranked on the ladder. I'd rather run Sword Soul 10E, honestly. Definitely in the bad tier. Therion, you're going to see splashed. You're probably going to actually see Danger splashed more than Therion, but it's a splashable archetype. It definitely is bad. If we were going, well, we're almost kind of going in order of goodness on this, as well as how often you see it. But if you're going in order of like usefulness, it'd probably be at the lowest. Um, Sprite is pretty much. I feel like it's more of a engine or more of a splashable thing that's own thing. If it was its own thing, I'd probably put it in the bad tier, like below. Yeah, I reckon it's its own thing over splashable because most of the time when I do see Sprite, it's as a deck and not an engine. Um, Cosmo K9 I feel like is better than it. If it's regular Cosmo, it'd be down there. If it was just regular Sprite, I feel like it'd probably be the best deck in the bad tier. If it wasn't for Cosmo K9, with just how powerful that engine is right now. Sharks. Sharks right there, right under Photon. Sam's. Behind Drytron Herald. Thunder Dragon behind Drytron Herald. UA ahead of Gladbeast. Oh, Monica, I'll just put next to UA. It could really be anywhere in there. Time Lord, Mech Lord, whatever you want to call it. Shit, give me Arcana Force before that. Zephyra. There. Voiceless Voice. Very butt end of playable. Yang Zing is bad. I'd rather play it than Crawler, though. Morg is bad. Trap Tricks are bad. Volcanics are bad. Witchcraft are bad. World Chalice bad. Yosenju bad. Ubel. I'll put it in playable. You're not going to see it. No one's playing this deck anymore, but if somebody was to, it could probably at least belong in playable for putting Dragon Maid. I changed my mind actually. Worse than K9. Cosmo. Probably better than at this point, and probably worse than. And with that, I'm actually going to start making some changes to that tier. We're from playable, we're actually going to toss that in bad, this in bad, this in bad. I feel like that's better. Spellbooks are bad, Sams are bad right now, Red Gauge bad. I'm just tossing them in no specific order at this point. White Forest, Azamina, always together, so right about there. Wind Witch is bad. Vanquish Soul K9, probably best deck of the format. Other K9 variants next, and then Draco Tail. Maybe closer to this, actually. Draco Tail and then other K9 variants, but VS K9 at the top. I feel like that's correct, and that is your tier list for February. Let me know if you agree or disagree with me in the comments down below. Let me know if you think I missed something. And for everybody on YouTube, I'll see my YouTube people in the next video. But before I go, I would just like to say Wow, I'm whiffing this. Why am I whiffing this? I am still sponsored by Dubby Energy. If you want just something that'll give you tons and tons of energy without the horrible crash, check out Dubby. Um, www.dubby.gg. If you pick some up, use my code SirLargeGaming to get 10% off. And I personally like the peach flavor the most, but I'd say a close second would be the blue raspberry. I haven't tried s'mores, but I think I might do that next. But yeah, that's it. And yeah, we have a sponsor again. I know. It's a little crazy. And I will see my YouTube people in the next one.